Revelation Unraveled, Part 30, The Great Chastisement, continued. P5, 144,000 saved virgins. And I saw, and behold, a Lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his name and the name of his Father written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of great thunder. And the voice which I heard was as of harpers, harping on their harps. And they sung as it were a new canticle before the throne, and before the four living creatures, and the ancients. And no man could say the canticle but those 144,000 who were purchased from the earth. These are they who were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. They follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These were purchased from among men, the firstfruits to God and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no lie, for they are without spot before the throne of God. Who are these 144,000 virgins? They are unique in 4 respects. 1. They sing a new canticle which no other man can say. 2. They are not defiled with women, an unusual grace in these latter days. 3. Though highly favored, there is no indication they have been martyred. And 4. They follow the Lamb wherever he goes. That they tell no lies, or have the name of the Father written on their foreheads, is not so unique. But of all the groups previously mentioned, they are the only ones who will join the martyred to stand with the Lamb on Mount Zion. In fact, they have been chosen to return with the Lord to set up his reign during the millennium. They are the armies, as depicted back in B9, who will fight against the Antichrist and his followers at Armageddon in P9. Therefore, these are the fortunate believers who were raptured out of the tribulation period in B9. More on the martyred, raptured, and protected later on. P6, Grim Reaper. And I saw, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sitting like to the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat upon the cloud, Thrust in your sickle and reap, because the hour is come to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud put his sickle to the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple, which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar, who had power over fire. And he cried with a loud voice to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in your sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vineyard of the earth, because the grapes thereof are ripe. And the angel put his sharp sickle to the earth, and gathered the vineyard of the earth, and cast it into the great press of the wrath of God. And the press was trodden without the city, and the blood came out of the press, up to the horses' bridles, for 1,600 furlongs. The 4th herald angel announces the harvest is ripe. It's becoming clear why the 4th horseman, the pale rider, is labeled death in P1. The image of the grim reaper harvesting the grapes is a universal symbol of actual physical death, and the blood is real. All the previous world tyrannical empires have been destroyed. Now the 8th beast, the final government without God, will be obliterated directly by the hand of God. Here is another passage from the middle of Revelation, chapter 14, which obviously belongs near the end. This image is repeated in chapter 19. He treads the winepress of the fierceness of the wrath of God the Almighty. P7, sun scorches. And the fourth angel poured out his bowl upon the sun, and it was given to him to afflict men with heat and fire. And men were scorched with great heat, and they blasphemed the name of God, who has power over these plagues, neither did they penance to give him glory. The sun in this passage is the chastising comet, which scorches the earth before colliding with it. Notice that no mention is made of the remnant Christians and their reaction to this disaster. By this time, all will have either been martyred, incarcerated in re-education camps, raptured, or sequestered away with the Blessed Mother in a safe place, W8. Also note that despite the impending disaster of planetary collision, the followers of Antichrist refuse to repent. Clearly, in the Apocalypse, St. John is relating the culmination of human history. The sheep have truly been separated from the goats. There is no middle ground. Those who are not worthy to set up Christ's kingdom on earth will be removed in this great chastisement. P8, great city divided. And the seventh angel poured out his bowl into the air, and a great voice came out of the temple from the throne, saying, It is done. And there were lightnings, and voices, and thunders, and there was a great earthquake, such as never has been since men were upon the earth, such an earthquake so great. The greatest earthquake, P8, in mankind's history, is caused by the comet colliding with Earth. The hail, which weighs hundreds of pounds, is not ordinary pieces of ice, but rather pieces which break off from the comet. Even what is left of Babylon, which became a habitation for demons following World War III, will feel the effects of this final destruction. And the great city was made into 3 parts, and the cities of the Gentiles fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before God, to give to her the cup of the wine of the indignation of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And great hail, like a talent, came down from heaven upon men, and men blasphemed God for the plague of the hail, because it was exceedingly great. This is yet another passage that must be positioned just preceding the concluding chapters 19 and 20. The phrase, "it is done," means we are talking about the very end. In the traditional sequence, this section, chapter 16, comes ahead of the fall of Babylon, chapter 17, which was engineered by the beast from the abyss. But these last 9 sections, headed by the pale horse, P1 through P9, relate the New World disorder's downfall. The defeat of the beast cannot precede its victory over Babylon.